On Monday this past week, the Beitbridge border post was opened after being closed early in January as a measure to stop the spread of coronavirus. This meant that Zimbabwean nationals who had gone home for the festive season wouldn't be able to cross back into South Africa without presenting a work permit and a valid COVID-19 test certificate. These are documents that this 39-year-old man doesn't have. We call him Thabani. Apart from not having 1,000 Rand for a COVID-19 test, he simply doesn't have a passport. His best chance of being reunited with his wife in Johannesburg is by paying a black market guide. He meets up with his guide after a 15-kilometer journey on foot from his home village of Gwanda. Thabani agreed to speak to us where the guide dropped him off a few meters on the South African side of the border.
Ngidlula endaweni ezidangerous kakhulu ukuthi ngiriska ngempilo yami ngifuna ukuzama ukuthi ngiphilise abantu abami ngoba eborder kunje akudluleki lo bhuti sambhadala imali asimnikeze 400 Rand.
Thabani has been living and working as a plumber in South Africa since 2002, but the anxiety of long-distance parenting compelled him to visit his frail parents who are raising his 2 children. So, Butemba, what's it like knowing that you're leaving home, leaving your family, leaving your kids, and just to get over the border into South Africa, you actually have to risk your life?
So, abantwana bami mina kose ngizikhulisele bona. Ngingathwalise umama lo baba ubuzima. I-situation saseZimbabwe akuhlaleki because ekhaya eZimbabwe akulamsebenzi.
In order to give his family a better quality of life, Thabani had to leave Zimbabwe.
Izinto ziyadura zithengeke ekhaya nga. Imali sihambisa manje ukuthi ufuna ukubhadala i-school fees sabantwana.
With extra prevention measures heightened, how are illegal immigrants crossing into South Africa without COVID-19 screening and certification? Thabani intended to cross the Limpopo River by canoe. Recent rains mean the river is in full flood. Amateur footage taken on the Zimbabwean side of the Limpopo shows the challenges for migrants. The river is unforgiving, and several men and women play a waiting game before trusting instructors to help and guide them across. The man in the grey shirt, Farai, says it's all about the skill of the instructors.
Tine vakomana vakadzidza nezvemvura inoere vane hunyanzvi hwokuti isusu tigone kuenda kwatinoda kuenda. Rwizi rwongu runenge rwakazara asi nechikonzero chekuti uri kutya kufa neCovid, uri kutya kufa nenzara, saka unozongoona kuti kana mvura ikangonditora ndokufa kwandanga ndichangosangana nani.
On water, a simple mistake like not listening can cost you your life.
Ava vakomana ava varukwa vanoita basa rawo nemazvo, vanenge vachiita basa rawo nemazvo, saka tinongotrayawo kusenerera.
For some river guides, the job is an act of mercy, a service that David Chimbele charges less than 100 Rand for.
Achibva kurutumba achienda kuriver anobhadhara 50 Rand pachikepe, then vokwira kuenda kuMessina ndokwavanozotorera mota dzavo kuenda mberi, vamwe vanoenda mberi, vamwe vanotenga vakadzoka.
Although it may be a lot cheaper for Farai to cross on foot, surviving the flooded river can mean taking a small boat, but even that won't guarantee his safety. But it's hunger that propels people to brave the Limpopo, traverse thick bushes for over 15 kilometers, and jump off bridges. And amateur videos taken on the route show not a single face mask in sight.
Indawo le idangerous ngokuthi mawuhamba amanzi aphansi lapha wena uhamba ngaphezulu. And any mistake ungatshelela ungene emanzini. Ukuhamba kwakho even la khona lezo akulamanzi ungatshelela uwe mawusefika phansi amboni ukuthi ungafika uphila.
Despite not having a COVID test or a passport, many say that before the pandemic, moving between Zimbabwe and South Africa was a lot simpler. Home Affairs Minister Motsoaledi says the department is aware of the illegal activities at the border. We're still finding that there's a huge movement of people coming in and out of South Africa from Zimbabwe.
It's one of the issues that Home Affairs are dealing with. We came across a situation where the members of Zimbabwe Defence Force and Police were aiding people to cross here illegally. It's part of a corruption scheme. To them, it was a money-making business.
When migrants are found to have illegally entered South Africa, they are detained at Lindela Repatriation Center. head of research at Institute for Security Studies, Otilia Maunganidze, says Lindela is a temporary solution to a permanent problem.
Repatriation centers have proven globally to be ineffective mechanisms to deter people from migrating.
Applying for a Zimbabwean passport can set citizens back about 6,000 rand. And even if they do have the money, Tabane says they have to wait more than 12 months before being able to collect it. These are the reasons many choose the illegal route, says Attilia.
Right now, if you ask the Department of Home Affairs how many people are in South Africa illegally, they cannot give you an exact number because they do not know. They will give you an estimation of between 500,000 people and 4 million.
Tabane, who has in effect become a repeat offender, is a classic example of migrants dodging the law.
Ngingaba ku-quarantine, but ngagcina semfindile ngaphuma. Sebembambe 3 times. So babe sebekufayina ukuthi why wena lokhu yenza into enje ngesikhathi esiyi-1.
This 40-kilometer fence was erected in a project spearheaded by the Department of Public Works in a bid to manage the spread of COVID-19. This month, Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts said it was hastily built and a national embarrassment.
It's an insult to the capabilities and the strength of our government to protect its citizen and its border if that thing is going to be called a border fence.
Scopa says no more money should be allocated to maintaining the fence, which is only a year old. We reached out to the South African National Defence Force and the Department of Public Works, but had no response. Since the Limpopo River is currently in flood, a migrant's best option could be to be smuggled by transporters who are widely known here as Malaisha. As Umalaisha, how much demand is there with people wanting to cross? Have you seen a spike in business?
Some people prefer to go through the river. Those points, they are cheaper. At the river, maybe they pay 150, then they cross. But if you come through the border, you need 800 rands. Now the border is flooded, so people cannot risk.
This Malaisha says he's been in the people smuggling business for over 15 years.
I couldn't find a job in Zimbabwe. We started doing this, but as time went on, I started gaining more clients.
He negotiates with officials from either side and then pays them a fee to turn a blind eye.
The entrance gate, you pay 100 rand. And the exit gate on the same side, you pay 100 rand.
Okay.
On the bridge, there are Zimbabwean soldiers. You give them again 100 rand. On the South African side, there's police. You do the same thing.
Sometimes the business can be lucrative, he says.
You can have even 10 border jumpers. That is 6,000. Maybe you can use 3,000, or the more the border jumpers, the more you can negotiate.
Malaisha acknowledges that he's breaking the law, but says the need to put food on the table far outweighs his conscience. Is it only just about money, but blessing, or is it also about helping people?
I will be helping people at the same time getting money. I prefer to be self-employed because I think I make more money.
He also prides himself on having escaped the consequences thus far. Never been in trouble with the police? They've never given you problems?
I always made sure I create good relations with them.
This is also about corrupt officials, not only on the Zimbabwean side, but on the South African side too. This Malaisha says some people bribe themselves out of providing COVID-19 certificates.
Here at the border, they are testing and they ask for those certificates. When you don't have that certificate, if you give them money, they take money and let you go. Even if you have the certificate, they tell you this is fake, instead of them denying you entry.
We have charged quite a number of Home Affairs officials. That's why we want to strengthen the anti-corruption unit. We want to have a commissioner of border, the Border Management Authority Commission.
But it seems a better solution could be coming. The Border Management Act was implemented last year.
The Border Management Authority will coordinate that and will be able to identify such syndicates because we definitely know they do exist. Part of what they will do is to devise plans to catch the syndicates.
Tabane says his intention is not to break the law. All he wants is a chance at a better life.
Ngimpekela ukuthi ngihambe kahle ngize ngifike eSouth Africa. Ngifike ngisebenze, maybe ma ngasebenza asazi mhlawumbe lami khona ukutshintsha maybe impilo yami maybe le COVID izodlula njengoba siza kuthiwa uza ama-vaccine.